Welcome to the Unit 7 presentation for the Micro Racer GT mini lessons. This presentation will introduce you to the first mini lesson, which is 7.1. So 7.1, what we're going to do is we're going to go over our learning objectives, talk a little bit about what you're learning, and then we will look at what the end program will entail. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce you to manipulating the XY coordinates inside Scratch, and then we're going to make sure we know the different locations for the four quadrants on the XY coordinates, and then we're going to know how to place a sprite with a specific coordinate in each of the different quadrants. This doesn't seem very important right now, but it will become important in the future when you start programming more advanced items inside Scratch, and especially if you have some sort of error, we can't figure out why a particular item is in the wrong coordinates. So it's important to know these basic concepts so you'll start making some more advanced and robust programs. Okay, first, if you are new to X and Y axis points, this isn't a full-blown course on X and Y axis, but I'll go over some of the high points. If you look over here, here's a picture of the stage from Scratch that we'll be using. This is a stage backdrop that you can actually get with Scratch. And you'll notice it has an x-axis. That's the points that go from left to right. And then you have the y-axis. And those are all the points that go up and down. Okay. On the far left-hand side, the points on X start at -240, and they go all the way over into +240. Okay, so from -240 to +240. If you were to count each one of the little pixel points from the left all the way to the right, there would be a total of 480 units from left to right on your Scratch stage. If you wanted to put in more complex mathematical terminology, you could take the absolute value of the negative x plus the absolute value of the positive x and add those together, and you would have you'd have 480 units for the left and right on the x-axis. Now the y-axis goes from +180 down to -180, and that's going to be a total of 360 units for the y-axis. So x is 480 units and the y-axis is 360. This is a 4:3 ratio between the two. Over here is going to be your quadrant 1, and this is going to be a positive x and positive y. Over here on the left is going to be your quadrant 2. This is going to be a negative x and positive y. Down here is quadrant 3. This is negative x and negative y. And then down over here is your quadrant 4, and this will be your positive x and negative y. Right here in the middle, this happy little camper is called the point of origin, and that's going to be at 0, 0. And you can see the coordinates right here. So that's kind of a rundown of what you're going to see with the x and y axis points. And what we'll do is we'll program these sprites to go to different locations on the xy axis by putting in certain coordinates. And once you do it a few times, you'll get a good feel for where everything goes. Let's see, right here, to start the program, you're going to look for a file called Quadrants Model. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and turn on the program so you can see what that looks like. Okay, I went ahead and opened up the program. If you have the curriculum beside you, you might want to go ahead and look at the files and then double check to make sure you have the right file open. This one's called the Quadrants Model file. And in this program, when you press play, here's what's going to happen. All your sprites will go to the point of origin, and then they're going to go to their respective quadrants. You'll notice that I've named the different sprites, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4 to kind of help you stay organized. And then you'll go into each quadrant, and here on the go to for the x and y axis points, you'll put in the coordinates. Okay, you can change these numbers as you get used to it. For now, I would keep the same exact data that I have been put in here, so that way you have a similar working program. Once you got that down and got some confidence, then go out there and experiment with everything. And you'll notice right here, we go to 0, 0. Right here, you can see the x0, the y0. That's what this number is right here, 0, 0. And then the program waits 1 second, and then it goes to these XY coordinates. Each one of the different quadrant sprites will have a different coordinate that you'll put in there. Go look at the curriculum, and it'll show you what value to input in for the X and the Y axis. Make sure that whatever number you put in here, for example, positive 150 for the X and Y for the quadrant 1 sprite right here. If you go double check your data values over here, I'm on this side of the screen, you'll notice that they should match up. If I click on play, it should be 0, 0. Hold on, I did that too fast. So 0, 0, then it goes to 150, 150. And each one of the different sprites will do the same exact thing. So make sure your program runs exactly like that. And before I end the video, let me double check something. Okay, the stage has nothing going on with it. And then the quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, they all have similar pieces of code. Make sure you look at the instructions and follow the instructions to get the right data to input into these items. And also don't confuse the go to with the set X or set Y or the glide. That could cause some differences in the way your program runs and what I have. But if you want to, once you have it down, go ahead and experiment with some of these different motion tools over here. Okay, so thanks for watching, and go ahead and look for the next mini lesson 7.2.